And then we had the co-main event of the night, and this to me was completely unexpected because you watch this first fight, right? Michael Chandler nearly finishes the fight in round 1. Oliveira survives, immediately finishes the fight in round 2. I thought we were going to get the same exact scenario where one of these guys was going to finish the fight within the first 2 rounds, and there was no chance we were going to see a round 3 or more. But that wasn't the story because Charles Oliveira was actually very patient. He actually showed some maturity in there. He was actually slowing down the fight, taking Michael Chandler down, racking up control time, had a few submission attempts in there, and really was just cruising, absolutely cruising to a victory over the course of 4 straight rounds. And why I put in here that this was a fake war is because, yes, Michael Chandler came on much later in this fight in round 5. He definitely hurt Charles Oliveira on the feet, but when the fight got to the ground and Michael Chandler was throwing down some pretty vicious ground and pound, every single shot that he landed was to the back of the head. And Keith Peterson just stood there and didn't do a damn thing about it. Didn't issue a warning, didn't say a damn thing, let Michael Chandler continue. I thought at some point he was going to stop the fight and Michael Chandler was going to win. And everyone was just going to go absolutely nuts, screaming that those were all to the back of the head, which is what we ended up screaming anyway at the end of the fight. But DuBronx does survive, eventually takes the back of Michael Chandler, slows things down again, shows that maturity, and it was really just a completely one-sided fight when you actually look at it from an overall point of view. But in that moment, in round 5, you kind of just forgot about the first 4 rounds because Michael Chandler, absolute beast mode. Dude's an absolute warrior. That's the best conditioning we've ever seen Michael Chandler in. And I'm just thinking of when Oliveira's riding his back and all of a sudden Michael Chandler, goes for the suplex. Then he gets back up on his feet. Charles Oliveira hanging off, goes for a second suplex. Like the way that ended visually for Michael Chandler was awesome. So, big credit to both guys. Those are really 2 of the better guys in the division. And if Michael Chandler's showing up like that, conditioning wise, he's going to be a problem even for another couple years, even though he is like 37, 38 years old. So I say fake war because Oliveira completely dominated. And if you take away those shots to the back of the head, how much of a war was it actually? So curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know down below. And then the main event, Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. Hindsight is just so 2020. Stipe Miocic, 42 years old, and he looked every bit of that age. I mean, he was slow in there. The durability was in question. He got taken down very easily by Jon Jones on a nice trip takedown. Didn't really have any answers when he was working off of his back. Jon Jones was just laying down elbow after elbow. That was a vintage Jon Jones performance. But I couldn't help but just picture both these guys exchanging on the feet. Yes, Stipe looked slow. I didn't think Jon Jones looked all that great. I mean, when Stipe Miocic is basically just a punching bag, of course Jon Jones is going to look great. I couldn't help but just keep thinking, dude, Tom Aspinall probably wipes the floor with both these guys right now. Like the mobility that Tom Aspinall has, that athleticism, it's just the youth that he has, is the speed on the feet, the power on the feet. I just kept thinking to myself, I don't think either of these guys is going to beat Tom Aspinall. And then after the fight, after Jon wins, gets on the mic, he didn't call out Tom Aspinall, but he said, maybe we'll give you guys what you want. And to me, that's not Alex Pereira. That's not Jamal Hill. That's got to be Tom Aspinall. He said he's not retiring, so he's got another fight in him. We have to imagine it's going to be Tom Aspinall, who was there in person. They did not bring him into the octagon. Kind of a wasted opportunity there, but it's got to be Jon Jones. It's got to be Tom Aspinall. And just watching that fight, I think you got to take Tom Aspinall. The only question mark is that what happens if this fight gets extended? We've never really seen Tom Aspinall go a hard 15 minutes. Can he handle that? What's going to happen if Jon Jones can out-wrestle him? Can he work off of his back? We don't know those things. So maybe Jon Jones can pull one last huge win out of his pocket. But until that actually happens, it looks like Tom Aspinall wipes the floor with both dudes. But let's just hope that this fight happens. That's UFC 309, the recap. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time.